Hey y'all, this is Julius from Panther Power Clean. Today I'm going to show you a couple mistakes that beginners can make when they start out pressure washing. And yeah, let's get to it. So, to get into the first mistake is people not, or at least people skipping the edges of the driveway when they pressure wash. Um, Usually when you have the surface cleaner, it gets everything but the edges, and people forget about that. They think if the disc goes over the edges, it hits the edges, but it's not always true because the actual wands inside the surface cleaning disc don't reach all the way to the edge of the actual disc on the outside, and so what you have there is a little gap where it's not hitting anything. And so when you go to the edge of your driveway, unless you're gonna run over grass like a lawnmower, it's not going to be hitting the edges. And so what you want to do is come in with a pressure washing gun and hit the edges yourself. And so that would be mistake number one. So yeah, let's get into mistake number two. So mistake number two over here would be using a surface cleaner for the patio deck. I cannot stress this enough. If you use a surface cleaner on patio deck, especially for this surface, it's a little painting surface. It's not good because you're going to be ripping off the paint. And another thing is that um, sometimes, it's really not necessary. Usually the soap is enough. And then you do a light pressure wash. Don't go high pressure. Keep the surface cleaner away. Use a really low level nozzle if you gotta. But usually I don't have to. Usually soap is enough for me, at least my chemical usage. So yeah, that's mistake number two. Mistake number three is people not branding enough. If you see behind me, I have a little van, and it has a card magnet on it. We put our logo on everything. So we have stickers, we have cards, flyers, shirts, literally anything. Pillows. We have pillows. It's in my car. Uh, and so you really, really want to focus on getting your logo everywhere, getting your company name everywhere, and making sure people know who you are. So that when you're pressure washing, you have customers that can pass by and see your logo and be interested. Have that little logo in their memory. When they come by, see you later. Hey, I know that guy. Hey, I want to get a pressure wash from him. So that's my little tip. It's a common mistake people will make. And yeah, that's mistake number three. Mistake number four would be not bringing enough water and food. Uh, One really important thing about the job is bringing the correct supplies. And if you think your pressure washer is enough, you're wrong. Because, yeah, especially if you're going to be doing multiple jobs, it gets very tiring and it takes up a lot of time in the day. You're going to be wanting some water. It's a little quick refresh, especially out here in Florida. It gets very hot. And so you're going to need all that nutrition and hydration. And so we always make sure to have a cooler inside the van that has all our nutrients and water to stay fueled for the day. So that's mistake number four. Mistake number five is blasting the heck out of these walkways. I would see people occasionally using their very best top of the line gear to pressure wash the walkways. The problem with that is not the problem. It, the problem with that is that you have really high pressure on the walkways, which just ruins the walkways, and you're getting mulch and dirt everywhere, rocks, whatever is next to the walkway. Usually there's a lot of stuff, and you're just gonna be blasting everywhere. It's not good. You're gonna have to clean that up. And what's the point of cleaning if you're gonna make it dirty? Might as well call it pressure dirty. So that's mistake number five. Mistake number six is people not bringing enough gas. This only applies for gas people. So if you're electric, you can skip this part. But usually people would have the gas pressure washer and maybe they fill it up before they go for a job, but then they end up using the whole thing, especially if it's a low, long job that's like probably past an hour. It's usually what it takes for me. Um, and so what I like to do is I like to bring, it's a little hard to see here, but I have red gas tanks right behind this ladder. Two red gas tanks, just for extra, just to give me some insurance and make sure that I don't end up messing up the job because I don't have enough supplies. So that's part of preparing for the job is bringing enough supplies. Mistake number seven is not locking up your equipment. And so I have a van, and so it's gonna be pretty hard for me to take out all the equipment and store it somewhere else. And so what I do instead is I get these little vehicle locks. And I'll show right here. It's under this seat. Here we go. These things, master locks. It's inverted because of the camera, but basically these go right onto these latches that come with the car, and they lock up the doors. Um, Nice little thing to have if you're gonna be in a um, very unsafe area, and that is what I would recommend for mistake number 7. Mistake number 8 is not bringing a clipboard or notepad or something to write on. Uh, Usually, when you talk with clients, especially if it's a big job, you don't want to keep notes of all the details, especially any intricacies. So, like, that's talking about, like, oh, for my front porch, oh yeah, don't spray towards this thing or that thing. You know, things you want to keep track of. Most people just kind of keep it in their heads, especially if you're working with a partner. They might not know all the details, so it's always useful to write down everything on a clipboard or notepad or any other thing that you use to write on. So that was my recommendation for mistake number 8. Mistake number 9 is not asking for help. Usually you'll see plenty of teams working together for pressure washing, and one really big issue that I see with most of them is that one of their people who is usually doing all the heavy lifting is not asking for help, and things should go really fast if they did. I'll give you an example. We had one moment where I had to go pressure wash a really big area I wasn't really comfortable with, and I wasn't asking for help. I learned the hard way. I ended up making a bunch of mistakes, like striping on the driveway, and I ended up having to redo the whole thing. So what I should have done before then is ask my partner for help, and therefore get the job done quicker and easier. So that's my recommendation. No general advice, but definitely a mistake you want to keep out for. So that's mistake number 9. So for the last mistake, it's mistake number 10. You don't want to spray towards cars. I cannot stress this enough. If you're pressure washing and you got a residential area, there's going to be a lot of cars around, and so what you got to keep out for, what you got to keep watch out for, is cars in the area. And so if you're going to be doing driveway pressure washing, usually like the customer will have their car parked like down the road or something, and so you want to be wary of that. If you're going to be spraying dirt in one direction, or like directing all the wastewater down some drain, make sure the car isn't in the way, and if it is, ask the customer to park it somewhere else. It's much easier than trying to go around the car or avoid it or whatever. It's always better just ask, get it out the way, and move the car. And so that's my recommendation for mistake number 10, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, do everything, share with your friends, share with your family, share with your dog, cats, birds, and hamsters. And yeah, that's top 10 mistakes beginners make for pressure washing. Nice seeing y'all.